Today on The Grid, we have a wild topic. We are talking about, are photographers cheating to win photo contests? It's me and Eric. We got some cool giveaways, and it all starts in just 60 seconds.
The Grid is brought to you by Tamron. Check out their 28 to 75 millimeter f2.8 lens. It's for Sony full frame mirrorless. It's awesome. Go to tamron-usa.com. And Westcott, check out their new Rapid Box Switch. It has 9 light modifiers and 13 quick swap light inserts. Check it out right now at fjwestcott.com.
And Profoto, the light shaping company. Check out the Profoto B1X. Power in all the right places. Go to profoto.com/US.
And Platypod, the tripod alternative that is changing the world. Everybody has a Platypod. You should too. Go to platypod.com.
Hey, it's me and Eric. Welcome to The Grid. We are,
We're back.
We're back. Thank you.
We're back.
Hey, we're,
Here we are.
I don't know. Anyway, can I tell you something? We were just talking about this on the break before we get going. I'm Scott. He's Eric, blah, blah. Anyway, look, we're watching the credits, the sponsors roll, and we have some great sponsors, right? FJ Westcott. They put up this, they show this softbox. They say the most adaptable softbox ever. What does that even mean? What does it mean? It's the worst. Okay, so I'm going to tell you, since they're our sponsor, I'm going to tell you what it is, because they've got a really brilliant product, and you can't tell from that thing what the heck it is. I'm going to tell you what it is. They didn't ask me to do it. I'm just embarrassed watching it going, come on. Here's what it is. You know how you might have a flash, and you might have also like a studio strobe. You may have multiple studio strobes. You may have like an Elinchrom and a Profoto, and then you got a Canon flash or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So,
and you're loose with money at that point.
yeah, because what happens is you have to buy one type of softbox for the Profoto, one type of softbox for the Elinchrom, and a different softbox for your hot shoe.
Yep.
Wouldn't it be great if somebody invented an adapter that lets you use one softbox for all of them? Just one softbox. You can use it on your Profoto. You can use it on your Westcott strobe, on your Elinchrom strobe, and on your hot shoe flash. That's it.
That's it.
That's what they created.
It's
That's
actually
it.
an awesome product.
It's awesome. And when you see it, when you see them demo it at their booth, you're like, oh, why don't you tell people about that? That is amazing. Yes. So that's what it is. It's the Rapid Box Switch, which means you can switch between different brands. You buy one softbox, and then you just buy the adapter. You don't have to buy all these other ones.
Yep. It's genius.
It's genius. Just, you'd never know from that thing. So that's my public service to our friends at FJ Westcott. They're a really great company. Really good people. I love. You guys have seen, they've been on the show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Brandon and Eric. I mean, you know, they're both photographers. They're both talented photographers, and you know.
And a lot of the guys that come in are using their product. Sam's using their products.
Everybody uses their stuff. Their stuff.
You know?
Their stuff for hot shoe flash. Their Rapid Box line is the best. Their soft boxes for hot shoe flash. I'm telling you now, they're the best.
Oh yeah, and the collapsible system that they have where it folds up and collapses.
Yeah.
You don't need those rods anymore.
No,
none of that.
No.
So, it's awesome.
If I'm motivated enough, I'll walk over to my studio and grab one and show you. You're going to go, oh, that's really cool. Anyway, welcome everybody. We've got a wild topic today, and it's ripped from the headlines. How you like that?
Yes. And now, so this is actually a photo. So this is a photo contest out of where is it out of?
Okay, well, I'll explain that. The topic itself is, are photographers cheating to win photo contests? And this comes from, I originally saw it on Petapixel, I believe. Petapixel.com did an investigative article basically about a guy who won the HIPAA award. Now, the HIPAA award is one that I went to a number of years ago. I won an award for education in photography. It is held in Dubai. It is put on by the Prince of Dubai, who is a serious, accomplished photographer in his own right, and he wants to turn Dubai into the photography capital of the world. So he has literally the most amazing photo competition, and the winner wins, I believe, either
$120,000.
$120,000 is the grand prize winner. And you have all these categories where people are winning. And I know people that have won categories that are winning like, $25,000 in a category. I mean, it's a serious. When you think about what people give away for photo competitions, that's ridiculous. And it's done. I'll just tell you just a brief story, if I may. So when I got the award for my contributions to photographic education, I didn't really know much about HIPAA and all, and they are an absolute class organization. It is so well run, so well put together. And my assistant's like, well, are you going to get a tux? I'm like, a tux? She's like, well, yeah, it's an awards thing. I go, it's going to be in the ballroom at like a hotel or something and all. I was so wrong. It is at the scale of the Oscar Awards. They did it outdoors, and they built this entire arena for thousands of people to watch, and they built a stage that was probably 8 stories tall, and the stage was video, flat, and then it turns and goes up 7 stories. It was the production, I mean, it was incredible. And I wore a tux, and I'm like, I wore a tux. Let me tell you, they had a red carpet like literally you walked a red carpet to come in.
Oh, yeah.
They had incredible parties. It was ridiculous. Yeah. It was amazing. And so anyway, this person won that competition. So they won a competition, and we'll show you the photograph that won
right here.
So if you look on Eric's machine here, you'll see here's the photo that won.
Grand prize winner, $120,000.
$120,000. That's just an amazing amount of money. That's life-changing money. And then, of course, when you win a competition like this, like it says in the article, it opens all kinds of doors, and National Geographic's calling you, and everybody's calling you, right? So after he won, and it was announced that he won, someone basically said, wait a minute. That was a set-up shot there, and they showed a behind-the-scenes shot. Do you have that behind-the-scenes shot?
Just, let
me get Eric to get you the shot. There it is, and if you can kind of make it large.
Yep, there we go.
Here you go. Take a look. Yeah, so there's all these photographers on a photo tour, and I guess the woman, approached the photo tour and said, hey, you guys want to take my picture? And I don't know. I don't know the whole story.
We don't really know.
But generally, when people say, do you want to take my picture, they want money. Like in Cuba, people will say, want to take my picture? It's $5, or whatever. So, and that's fine for her. Nothing. I mean, she's perfectly, trying to feed her family in Vietnam. Good on you. But anyway, all these photographers took the shot, took a similar shot, and one of them sent it in and said, hey, this is a staged photo. So, and by staged, I mean, she said, all right, do you want to take my portrait? I'll sit here, and I'll hold the baby, and I'll
there's all
sit
these
on
photographers
this.
shooting the same shot
right,
in a line.
And it's a photo tour. So now, the interesting thing, it says in the Petapixel article that there's nothing in the article, nothing in their rules, nothing in the rules of the contest that say you can't stage a photo.
Photojournalism.
It is not a photojournalism contest.
Right. And I think we can get into that a little later, the difference there. But that's the thing, is it's not a photojournalism contest, it's a photo contest. You're submitting a photo, this photo won.
Right. Yeah. And that photo won. And so our question is, and this is, well, they did a poll. Do you have the results of that poll? And it may not have even been Petapixel that did the poll, but Petapixel asked and said, is this cheating? Is this wrong? Scroll down and see if you see.
I got to go to the site. All
right, give us a second, because they did a poll of the readers, and they asked, straight up.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I think it was Petapixel.
All right, let's go take a look. I voted on it, and
yeah, I did too.
So let's go see what the poll was. Hanging tight.
We got to go back a little bit.
We got to go. But anyway, while we're doing that, I'm going to give a couple of shout outs. Bert's here from the Netherlands. Andy from Otley is here again.
Hey.
Alenka says hello ×2. Mary Brown is here. Roberto Piscanti Bonjovi is here. Roberto. Hey, by the way, Pisco, the greatest guy in the world, is coming to Photoshop World Orlando. Holy cow. And he's bringing his beautiful Claudia. And he says hi to you, Eric, and to me.
Hey.
We love Roberto Pisco. And we are very excited he's coming to Photoshop World. That is awesome. And he's coming all the way from Venice, Italy, where did you know they now charge tourists
Oh yes, I
they
do
now
know that.
it is the overcrowding in Venice
there's
is
like
so
a
bad.
turnstile too that you have to go through, and once it fills up, like you don't get in.
Yep.
Even if you've come from thousands of miles away.
Yep. Even if you
don't
came
get
on a
in.
cruise ship,
Yeah.
you know, and they're also having the cruise ships now port on the other side of Venice, so you don't you're not right there at St. Mark's Square and flooding everything with people.
But that probably is good because it was getting a little excessive with the tourism.
Yeah, I took a picture to show. Maybe I'll be able to find it on the break. Kathy Bateson says, "Hi, Scott and Eric. You missed all the fun at the photography show in the UK this week. It was amazing." I know, and I really wanted to go. Maybe next year. It is. I think probably now. I haven't been to Photokina in years, but I got to tell you, the photography show, in my opinion, best photo show I've ever been to. And I think it just keeps getting better. So great show. I heard nothing but great stuff.
Except for a show called Photoshop World.
Photoshop World is,
of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've heard of Photoshop World. Is it any good?
It's very good.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
But it's
20
all
years.
Photoshop,
You know, it's
though.
been going for 20 years.
Is it? It's just all
This
Photoshop,
is
though, right?
20 years.
It's just Photoshop.
No, it's all about InDesign.
Oh. Well, the photography show is a very large expo. It is an expo, and they do education. Ours is an education with
Photoshop World is a conference.
Right,
Yeah,
it's a conference.
It's where you're going to go to learn and education.
And you should go. You should go. PhotoshopWorld.com. This year we're in Orlando in June, or at the first 2 days of June, and then in August we are in Las Vegas at the Mirage, our new home for Photoshop World, the Mirage. Prediction: it would be the best. The Mirage will be the best place we've ever had Photoshop World. Because right now,
Vegas.
the Hyatt,
Yes.
the Hyatt in Orlando, hands down, the best place over 20 years that we've ever had it. But it could be eclipsed.
I haven't told you this, but like in a lot of our data that's coming back from attendees talking about it, they said, I'm coming back this year because the Hyatt was, the location was so awesome, the conference was so awesome that I can't miss it.
You come down the elevator, the doors open, and you're in Photoshop World. It is, and we basically take over the whole thing. Hey, Mark Heaps, bass player extraordinaire, Photoshop genius, Kelby One instructor. Speaking of Photoshop World, Mark Heaps says, hey, happy to be listening in. Glad to have you here, Mark. We're looking forward to seeing you again. And Ben says, Ben and a very happy Brigitte here, still from a surprisingly warm Nottingham. Glad to have you guys here because we need your comments. So we found the poll.
Here's the poll.
All right.
So it was the poll was asking with that shot.
There we see Eric's. There we go.
Is this type of staged photo worthy of a prestigious photo prize? And then you select. I already cast my vote, so it's not going to matter. All right, so there you go.
No, never. 75%.
Yes, sometimes 20%.
I just took a drink of water. I didn't realize how full it was.
Yep,
it just
there you
went
go.
everywhere.
And then yes, always, basically 5%.
Wow.
So overwhelming majority are saying no. If you're doing this should not be considered for a photo contest for a major award. Yeah.
Wow, that's 7 out of 10 people say no, it should not be considered for a major award.
So we're really curious. I mean, why we wanted to talk is of what everybody thinks about this, and two, I guess, our opinions on that. So.
Well, yeah. So this is an issue. Well, you know what? I tell you what, we got a break coming up, so I don't really want to dig in my
too
next
much,
one.
but just think about it.
But I wanted. There was another scandal. These scandals are popping up all over now. Like these photo contest scandals are a very routine thing.
Yes.
I want to talk about a different scandal, but I do want to hear your comments about what do you think about?
Do you think that this is a photo that should win an award?
You know what I'd like to know? I'd really like to know. It would be great if we could come up with it. I'm sorry, I spilled water like everywhere. I took a drink of this thing and it was filled to the brim and I went splash all over me. But here's what I'd like to know is where is the line?
Okay.
Where is the line? It's not a photojournalistic competition, so you can do Photoshop and you can do things, but where's the line? That's what I'd like to talk about.
Okay.
So coming up next, we've got some giveaways today. We're going to give away a Platypod Max like you see here. This big bad boy, not the ball head. That's my ball head. This is the ball head that I use. This is the ball head I take with me. If you take my ball head, it would just be a tripod and my camera laying on the ground. It's not good. We're going to give away this fabulous Platypod Max. This is the big boy. This is the one. We're giving this bad boy away today.
And we're also be giving away this brand new book from this guy called Scott Kelby, landscape photography book.
All right, let me ask you a couple of questions about that book before we give it away, Eric. If you're a landscape expert, should you buy that book?
No.
If you're a landscape beginner, should you buy that book?
Absolutely.
If you're just starting to get good at landscape photography, should you buy that book?
Well, probably.
Yeah. It's got good stuff in it. A friend of mine is got to read an early manuscript, and he literally called me and said, I'm on chapter 6. I can't believe how much I've learned. And I was surprised because he knows quite a bit about this stuff.
No, I looked there. I mean, it is really good even if you are into landscape photography. Like you said, I mean, if you're an advanced professional, you're probably going to go, I know this,
don't buy the book.
If
you're an advanced professional, it's not for you.
But if you're kind of into landscape photography and you're wanting like a refresher course too, it's great for that.
Yeah, and it's got lots of little tips and things that you're going to go, oh, I never thought of that. But I'm telling you, if you're really into, I got an announcement when we come back from the break.
Special announcement after the break.
When we come back, we're going to be talking about scandals and my special announcement.
And we want to know where the line is. So let us know your comments. Where's that line?
Where's the line?
Do you ever find yourself wanting to take amazing portfolio quality images, but feeling that the only way to get there is with a ton of gear and a huge production? Well, in this class I want to show you that that's not necessarily the case. We're going to walk around tonight with a group of friends. We're going to bring one camera, one lens, and one light, and I'm going to show you step by step exactly how to get amazing portfolio quality images with simple gear, simple setups, quick, easy portrait sessions with people that aren't used to being in front of the camera. So join me for a night out with good friends and great photography in my new class exclusively on kelby1.com.
When you need a tripod that is compact, that is portable enough to take with you anywhere, one that is adaptable to any situation, that will prove versatile enough for any shoot, and is compatible with your other gear, giving you freedom to create your own perspective. Look no further. Platypod Ultra does it all. Visit platypod.com for more info.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by B&H Photo, the professional source since 1973.
Hi, we're back. I ran over to the studio to try to get a rapid box to show you, and it's not in the studio because I moved my hot shoe flash into a different room, and the door's locked, and I don't have the key.
So there's that.
I've never seen that door locked before.
Who knows? Maybe it's like we're super secure now.
All right. So I want to tell you a story. Dun, 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 dun. No, I want to tell you a story
Ba-ba-na-na.
about a girl I once knew. Anyway, so that's my blues voice, by the way. About a girl I once knew. Dun, 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 dun.
Yep.
Anyway, hi. So Christina was telling me that in the forum, some people said they want to win the book so they can read the chapter intros. Well, let me tell you something. They're screwed up. They're horrendously bad. But I did this book. It's called Scott's Ultimate Book of Chapter Intros. So I went through my books for like 20 years. Oh, no, it looks like 10 years. I went through 10 years, And I put this book together, and it's a legit book, all right? It's a legit book. We did it like we are all our other books. It's an ebook, though. It's not a printed book. It's an ebook. But if you're a Kelby One member, you can go get this free right now. It is a book of chapter intros. There's no tutorials. There's no learning. It's just intros. Anyway, it's sold. You can go buy it on Amazon if you're not a Kelby One member. Or you can go to the Kelby One member Creative Toolkit if you're a Kelby One Pro member. If you're a Pro member, go to the Creative Toolkit, and this book is there for you to download just because you're a member and we love you.
Yeah.
So there you go.
There you go.
And it's called Scott's Ultimate Book of Chapter Intros. This stuff is whacked. And it is whacked. But it's my hand-picked favorites, and I hope that you like it.
All right. So speaking of stuff that's whacked.
All right, I got another one. Oh,
yes.
Did you have a thing?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So there was another one here just recently where, and I don't know the full story, but you're looking at your feed and you see this come through. So I don't have any names. I can't say, oh, it was Bob Johnson. But recently someone was caught. They had these beautiful photos, and they took photos of endangered animals, and put them into their award-winning photos, and they got busted. Someone was like, somebody figured out that animal was not indigenous to that location.
That would never happen.
And that would never happen, and the House of Cards came down and stuff. So what we're trying to determine today, I'd really love to find out, is what is the line? So I'm going to start really, really low, okay? Because there's something that I've avoided my entire career, and I'm starting to change my mind about it. Only because the older I get, the more I realize I'm the only one not doing it. Like everybody I talk to, they look at me like I'm crazy.
I might know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about sky replacement.
Yep.
Right? There are now sky replacement tools. There's plugins that do sky replacement.
One button sky
replacements. And I now teach techniques on how to do sky replacement. And I realized that I'm the only one not doing it. Like I talk to all my friends and all these people, and I'm like, man, what a great sky. I'm like, well, I dropped that in. I'm like, what do you mean you dropped it in? I dropped it in. I'm like, what? And they're like, what? I'm like, what? Now, I do have, ready for this, my minor code of ethics for dropping in a sky. And I'm not sure I'm 100% on this. But I want to use a sky from the same location. So if I'm in Rome, I don't want to take a sunset from Hawaii and pop it onto a Rome photo. I want to take a picture of some clouds from a different day in Rome, ideally the same location, but on a different day, and pop those in.
So, and why? Why that way? Why does it have to be from that location?
Because I want to sleep better at night. I don't know. It just seems more legit. The whole thing's not legit.
I'm asking because you know what I think the problem nowadays too, and it brings up this point of like, people being on workshops or setup shops and stuff like that, is everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it from all different locations, from different people's. There's people that are taking skies that aren't even their skies.
Right, they're buying stock photography skies
and putting it into their photos.
No, I've heard of that.
Everybody, it just seems like everybody's starting to do that. Now, I'm not sure if that's a good thing.
Now, I would say this. If you win a photography contest using somebody else's photo,
yeah, that's pretty low.
You shouldn't be using a stock photo. It has to be your photo.
That's pretty low.
Now, normally they will say when you enter a contest, I just entered a contest, by the way. 5 images to put in a contest. But I would, and it always says you own 100% of the copyright.
Yeah,
well, if it's a stock photo, you don't own 100% of it. But at least if it's your photos, it's your photos. If someone wants to license it, if someone wants to buy it, whatever.
Okay. So your caveat on that is it just has to be at that location I was at. Could it be like a year later?
Yeah, and by the way, I just want to tell you, I'm just coming to grips with all of this.
Oh, okay.
Like Eric knows, I have a hard time with all of this, and maybe it's because I'm old school or whatever, and that one thing, because I'm not very old school on other stuff. But I don't know. It just feels weird to me.
Yeah.
Even when I do it now, like I look at the shot and I always go, "Oh, those are things." Hey, Mark.
Mean, that's where I am definitely on this. I have a hard time with sky replacements too. I have a hard time with replacements anything. Now, a lot of my style tends to be photojournalistic because I'm capturing something and I'm having to then turn that over for news.
For those of you who are
that.
watching the show for the first time, Eric is a rocket photographer and he shoots for, he's done stuff for NASA, he's done stuff for a European
where,
space agency.
When I'm working for news, I'm working for space.
Yeah, that's different.
That's different. That's all photojournalistic. Like actually some of the stuff you'll see on my Instagram though, I am modifying stuff. I'm taking out poles, I'm taking out
you're doing
lines.
art. You're making art at that point.
But I hardly ever replace skies or add clouds or add something.
Right.
It's something that was there.
Yeah, I don't generally add stuff either.
I have a hard time with that too.
I'm just on skies. I don't add, like I don't take a deer and stick it in a shot. You know, I know how, but I don't do that. I did add a moon to a shot once. I have added a moon to one shot, but it wasn't like a portfolio or shot or anything.
This happens all the time. I see this all the time with Milky Way shots.
Yeah, Mark, that's what Mark Heaps is saying right there. He said, this is a big, and that's in all caps. Mark says this is a big argument in the astrophotography world.
And I have this because I have this especially with landscape shots because we know, because that's when we were shooting it, we know the Milky Way would not appear at that time of the year in that location.
It would also not appear sometimes in that time of day. I'm going to show you. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's where you get down to it. I think a lot of people, I've seen this time and time again, where people are adding the Milky Way to their shots that's just scientifically inaccurate. Like, that could not happen. Or I see that a lot with the moon, where people, blow up the moon to some size that it's like, it physically can't get that big. But people love it. So that's the other side of it I don't know. I don't know where that line is. And that's where I think we're kind of debating that.
Yeah. So I just went to Google here and I just typed in Milky Way photography and clicked on images. And there's all these different images, but some of these that they're showing like 4 o'clock in the afternoon and you're seeing the Milky Way.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that might be a composite.
That can't happen.
Yeah. So, some of these that are like, oh, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon and there's the Milky Way. Now, some of these are light paintings. Some of these they're lighting that area with light painting. But then some of these,
Now, some of them, the guys are actually taking and digging into the art. Like a lot of times what I know shooting with Ramy and stuff, like a lot of times what we'll do is you're actually setting up the shot at dusk.
Yep.
Leaving your camera there for
and
hours.
Not moving it an inch until it's Milky Way time.
Yeah. So you're actually, I think at that point, I'm okay with it. At that point, I'm okay with it.
Do you know what you eat while you're waiting?
Oh. Anything?
No, a Milky Way bar.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway, so you are blending two images, but you took both images at the same. I mean, that is the most legit because you're not going to be able to see these things.
But on the other side, I mean, that's where I don't know because it seems like nowadays, like that code of ethics is like gone. It's like, well, if I shot this Milky Way here. And I shot this landscape here, and I can blend those two images together. I'll do it because that's what people want to see.
Yeah, there's a great comment up here. It's right behind that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it says, Joseph says, we've had people win in our local photography group where they did the image at a workshop. Everything was set up, and all they had to do was wait in line to take a shot. Yeah. All right, so that's happened to me one time. And I wonder if I can find the photograph for you. Give me 1 second, and I'm going to see if I can find it. I might actually have it right here on my drive, and you're going to go, Scott, I've never seen that shot of yours, and I'm going to tell you why. I got to see if it's here, if I even have it, because it's possible I do not. Give me 1 second, and I will know. I'm almost done. Here it is. All right, let me open it up full screen first, and you're like, Scott, why have I never seen this shot of yours? I like the way it's lit with the flashes up under the huts and the perfect flash lighting on the subject and all the bottles on fire. It's amazing how you wandered upon this shot. Why did he have all those bottles on fire? All right, so the reason why I never showed this shot, I'd never really posted it anywhere, done anything if I wasn't describing what was going on was I was a guest photographer at a Joe McNally workshop, so Joe invited me to be his guest and teach Lightroom. Yay! So this was down in the island of St. Lucia. Joe set up this shot. And one at a time, each of the photographers would go up, you'd get on your knees, and Joe would tell you the settings. It's f5.6 at shutter speed of 1/60th at, you know, ISO 400 or whatever. You're hand holding it. I don't remember if we were hand holding it or whatever. And I never ever felt like this was my shot. This is Joe's shot. He just let me shoot it.
Well, that's Brandon's comment there. Brandon's saying the line is that you take a picture as a student in a class. The photographer set up the shot and told you the settings to try that. That's not your image.
Yeah, it's a practice shot, and
Like,
that's what
that's
Joe was
not your
doing.
image.
Joe wasn't trying to set up people with a portfolio shot. He's going to go, wouldn't you like to shoot something like this? I have it all set up. Go ahead and do it. You know, like, yeah, you can try it, and you can change your settings. You're not locked into his settings. You can change your composition. You can do all this different stuff. It's practice. It's not I'm creating a final image. But there were people, and we know this has happened, that will enter this in a contest. As if they took the shot themselves.
Well, but they also think that they took the shot.
Yeah, they will argue
think
this point
internally that that's their image. They push the shutter button. But I mean, I think that's your argument there. And the other side is, but you didn't set up the scene. You didn't coordinate with the model. You didn't light the scene. You didn't do all that stuff.
Right, exactly. Like I didn't stumble upon this scene any more than the guy in that picture that won stumbled upon his
Well, we
scene.
kind of don't know with that one if like that could have been a stumble upon and they're all just kind of walking around and they're stumbling upon. It doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. Probably looks more like the situation you're describing.
Come on, Eric.
I'm just saying.
Snap out of it.
I don't know the facts.
We're taking a short
Just the
break. When
facts.
we're coming up next, we're going to look at some more comments. We got some great comments and some great stories, and who knows? I might find the key to that room. I doubt it. Who's got that key?
I talked to so many photographers who are completely freaked out as soon as you mention lighting portraits on location. They hear that and they're like, oh, that's too complex and I'm not sure about it and I haven't had good results with it. I think I know why that you're having a problem with it, and I want to solve that problem for you. So I did an entire class based on location lighting. And we're going to go on location. We're shooting indoors, we're shooting outdoors, we're shooting in direct light, we're shooting with window light, we're shooting all these different things. We're mixing the strobe and the ambient. But when you see how easy this is, it's going to change the way you think about taking lights on location. It is so much easier than you think it is. So should you be using TTL or should you be shooting in manual? What are your camera settings? What ISO should you be at? What's the right f-stop? If these things are questions that you have, we're going to clear all of that up in this class. I'm going to give you the actual settings to use. I'm going to show you exactly how to do this, and you're going to see it all from scratch. We went on location, and you're going to see the whole thing from beginning to end, and it's going to change the way you think about location portraits forever. So come and check out my brand new class on location lighting techniques exclusively at Kelby One.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Canon.
Make sure you don't miss any episodes of The Grid by subscribing to Apple's podcast app or iTunes. It's free, and we even have a special audio-only version, too. So sign up today.
Hey. Hi. We're back, Scott and Eric. Hey, I mentioned like earlier that I had this announcement and I never made it. Here's the announcement. I am kicking off a brand new live one-day workshop, and I think I got a really good one. I'm excited because I've been doing a lot of Photoshop and a lot of Lightroom. This one's going to have a little Photoshop, a little Lightroom, but it's a photography day. It is called the Ultimate Photography Crash Course, and it is literally one day that can change everything. Here's what the whole course is based on. So if I had a friend that was a photographer and they were, starting to get good, like, they're like, hey, I'm starting to, really get into this. Could I come and spend the day with you? Like, what would I tell them? Because you can spend 5 years struggling with photography and getting 3% better, 5% better per year, and I'm thinking,
and you'll make it. You'll just kind of
get there. You're just gonna pay your dues big time. And I'm thinking, what could I show people? Like, if I was with somebody, I wouldn't just wing it. If a friend was coming to town, let's say you were coming to town, and you're like, hey man, I want to go shooting, and I'm really getting into this. I'm like, what would if I had one day to make you jump 5 years, what would it be? Well, that's my new course, and it's called the Ultimate Photography Crash Course. It's 5 different classes. It's a full day from 10 to 5. It comes with my detailed workbook and the whole 9 yards. The first 2 stops are in Indianapolis and Minneapolis, then the greater Fort Lauderdale Broward County Convention Center, and then I'm on to the Cobb Energy Performing Center in Atlanta. No, those are old ones.
States.
No, I will be going to both of those places.
Yes.
But right now it's just Indianapolis and Minneapolis. Those are my 2 stops, and it's the Ultimate Photography Crash Course. It is 100% guaranteed money back if it is not the best seminar you've ever attended on any photography topic ever, regardless of the price. So you got to come out, spend the day with me. I promise you, at the end of the day, you're going to see
we were
a
going
difference
over it.
in your work
and it was one of those
immediately.
Things. Yeah,
it's going to change stuff. You will leave there knowing my photography is going to be that much better.
Yeah, it's one of those things. When we were going over it, we were both like, and I said, that's what I said is, I wish when you're starting out, like, that would have shaved off 5 years.
Yeah, this is $1,000 day, and it's $99. Yeah. So if you're in Minneapolis or Indianapolis, or photographers there, tell them to come on out. We're going to have a great day. They're going to learn a ton, and it's going to jumpstart them. It's a year's worth of stuff. It's in one day.
Yep.
It's going to jump you big. All right. Let's say Tim Hunt says, so if I take the new workshop, can I use the photos in a competition? Yes. Yes, you can, because we're not going to be shooting anything in the workshop. It's not a workshop. A workshop is in Paris. That's the thing I'm doing in Paris. In Paris, I'm doing a workshop this summer where we are shooting and we're photographing and we're doing post and all that kind of stuff. That's a workshop. This is a seminar. So that's my ScottKelbyWorkshops.com. Come with me to Paris this summer. You and me in Paris, eating the French food, shooting the French food.
Yeah, and that's like what Joseph B is saying there is, personally, if someone else sets up the lighting, sets up the composition, tells you the aperture and the shutter speed, you're basically nothing more than a camera release.
That's it. You're a cable release.
Yeah.
Joseph B, true. That is, hey, back that up. Joseph B. That's the best. You're just a cable release.
Do you want to be a cable release? Or do you want to be a photographer?
I'm a human cable release.
Yes.
All right. And you know what I love? Our producer Jason, from what's he from, the dark web? What's his name?
Digital Surgeon.
Oh, now he's the Digital Surgeon.
He was Dark Request.
He was Dark.
There it is. The Digital
Surgeon. Boom. Blow it up with the Surgeon. He was ready to go with that thing. I will say this: it's much better than his old Instagram name.
Oh, the Dark Request.
The Dark Request.
That was the one that felt like that blind critique last week.
Yeah, last week we had a blind critique where it was just so dark that we were suicidal by the end of it.
I thought that was Jason's portfolio.
That was Jason. I think these are 3 of Jason's shots for sure. All right. Anyway, where did I leave off? Go to KelbyOneLive.com and come and spend the day with me in Minneapolis. It's guaranteed. You can't lose. You can't lose. You go for one day. If you don't think it just rocks, you get your money back. How can you beat it? Come on.
There you go.
So come out. It'll just be you and me and a couple hundred other photographers, but we'll have a blast. And
we won't be shooting in the line.
No, but you'll know when you leave. You're like, man, I learned some. And I do have some post stuff. I have some very key in every segment. I do a little bit of post, just the really important stuff, not beginning stuff, cool stuff. I'm excited to go on the road with it. I really, really am. It's been about 5 years since I've done a just straight up photography seminar, so I'm happy. Carla.
So before we read Carla's, Belinda's kind of plays into that. So Belinda's saying, if it were a wildlife competition, you entered a pics from a zoo animal or captive animal, then yes, that's cheating in my opinion. So
wait, I want to talk to Belinda. Hi, Belinda. So here's the thing. So you get bonus points for hiring a driver and going out. Like, in other words, if you capture a great shot of a lion at just the right time and just the right light, and it's in the Cincinnati Zoo, that's bad. But
if you go out,
if you go to Africa,
you pay the money to go all the way and do all that. Suddenly, it's legit.
Yeah,
Well, that plays into what
here's
Carla's
what it is.
saying.
Well, no, but she's got a point, and I don't know how to unpack this, because it's almost like two different topics.
Yeah.
One is the photography of a zoo animal. And believe it or not, there is a whole genre of people that shoot zoo animals. We've had people on the Kelby One forums, because we have a thing where you can say, hey, I'd like a class.
And they're really good.
And people have asked for classes on zoo photography.
Yeah.
They've posted shots that you would swear were taken in Africa, or,
And that's hard to do in a zoo.
It's hard to do in a zoo because there's always a fence or a sign.
That takes practice.
Right.
And that takes perfection.
So I think what Belinda is saying is part of the art of safari photography is going through all the things it takes to do a safari. It's flying to Africa. It's hiring a guide. But then there's people that would say, oh, well, you're just paying for it. You're hiring for a guy to drive you in a Jeep. You're rich. You're wealthy, obviously. So only wealthy people will be able to get good animal shots because they can afford to fly to Africa. They can afford to hire a guide that takes them out at just the right times and knows the right draw. And I know guys that do this. I know guys that are wealthy. They're all wealthy. I don't know anybody that says, I don't really have any money to pay the rent, but I'm on my way to Africa. I'm going to shoot safari. I mean, safari is expensive. You got to have long lenses. I don't know. Belinda, I just don't know. See, but I kind of agree. My gut instinct is to immediately agree and go, oh, yeah, that's not fair. I don't know.
See, I might get in trouble for this one. Or I might, but.
Hey, can we put up a poll on Twitter? I'm going to go put up a poll on Twitter. Yeah. So hang on. I'm going to go to my Twitter page.
And then that's where I do, that's when what Carla's saying, I really kind of agree with here of, when we started getting into like what is legit and what is not, because at the end of the day, the photo contest didn't say it had to be this or that, didn't have any rules that they were violating. Because they weren't violating any rules, well, then maybe it's okay. Because that's like Carla's saying is, in my opinion, the line resides with the rules of the contest. If it says it cannot be taken to a photo tour, or it's not acceptable that another photographer or 10 are there, then that's where the line is. But just because a group of photographers take the same shot doesn't mean that they get the same shot. No lines crossed unless they have broken the rules of the contest. What someone thinks should be doesn't matter. For example, she's saying, it'd be like you saying to me, I'm driving too fast because you don't agree with the posted speed limit. I really agree with that. When you really get down to it.
Wouldn't it be... It would be like saying, I'm not driving too fast because you don't agree with the posted speed limit?
Well, she's saying, because I'm driving. It'd be like you saying, I'm driving too fast, right? Just because you don't agree with the posted speed limit. That's what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're not violating the photo contest rules, well, then the best photo wins. it doesn't matter if that photo, I mean, if it's the photo contest says you can't take the Milky Way from one location, put it in another, well, then you can't win, or you can't do post-processing. But if you take the Milky Way from one location to another and you win the contest and it didn't say that you couldn't do that, well, it's still a great photo. It doesn't change the fact that it's a great photo. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, like the photo that won this contest, it's a great photo. I mean, if you look at it, people love that photo. If they didn't see the behind the scenes, they probably would really love that photo. But when that they see the behind the scenes, we feel like, oh, I don't know, cheated. That's cheating because it's not fair, you know. But at the end of the day, it's a great photo. So does that really matter?
All right, I just put, here we go, I'm hitting tweet. It doesn't have any graphic or anything. You just a text thing. It's a poll on Twitter, so go to my Twitter page at Scott Kelby, and I take my glasses off so I can actually see it. Oh, there you all are. Oh, Eric, what are you doing here?
Hey.
Anyway.
I'm here in 3 dimensions.
You are. Go to my Twitter page at Scott Kelby and just vote, and there it is right there. Bada bing.
Oh, yeah. You're not signed in to Twitter.
Jason's not signed in. Oh, that's me? That's not my screen.
No, that's Jason.
That's Jason. Ooh, Jason.
He's not signed into his dark request.
He's not signed into dark request. Dark request. Coming up next, more of your questions and comments, and we're going to talk about another sneaky little thing that I've seen. It's a compositing trick.
Okay.
That has also created a bunch of things, and we're going to talk about another, just more of this stuff. Mm-hmm. Stick around.
Hey guys, welcome in the Netherlands. My name is Frank Dorhoff. I'm a Dutch photographer and we're in front of our studio. Now we all know about shooting portraits, right? Or shooting fashion. In our class on Kelby 1, we're actually gonna do one step further. How to add a little bit of motion to really spice up that shot. How to use water effects. How to use gels, how to use lens flares. Those are absolutely amazing. But also how to retouch those shots in a really quick workflow. But most of all, it's gonna be about lighting. It's gonna be about coaching that model. So why should you watch this class? Well, for the very simple reason. There are so many photographers out there. There are so many images out there. And you want your images to show up on top, of course, because they're more interesting, they're more evolving, they're more storytelling. There's so much you can do that is actually pretty simple. Instead of just putting a model in front of the camera, just change a few things over with lighting or coaching or motion, and you can really make a huge difference without doing anything else than just watching this class. We just jam-packed this class full of information about shooting portraits, and it's only on Kelby 1. You're gonna love it.
You know, as a kid, and I wasn't even a teenager, I came down that trail with my dad. So that experience of like going down through Little Yosemite Valley, dealing with bears grabbing backpacks, all that stuff, that experience is part of the photograph. Probably coming up on at least 100 visits to this valley in my lifetime. And still, I keep coming back. John Muir said this is the range of light. So range of light means, photographically, big expanse. John Muir was talking about the romance. Combining these elements in the photograph will take time. But I first want to experience it. So to stop, take a deep breath, to show you how time evolved, even in that short window, and how light changed in that. So if there's anything that's going to improve your photography, it will be time. So to grow in your landscape photography, you have to get past that fear. And realize that fear, okay, is from failure. But from failure is where we learn and we grow. So you want your landscape photography to move forward. You want to get better at it, push the barrier. Don't worry about the failure, the fear, because no matter what happens, you're going to learn. Your landscape photography will get better. You know, Ansel Adams, one of his favorite quotes was, somebody asked him how many pictures it take to get the great one. One.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Platypod, the world's most compact tripod base.
3-2.
Hey, Scott and Eric, we're back here. Do we mention Photoshop World?
Yes, we did, but we can mention it again. Photoshop World.
Photoshop World. Boom, there it is. All the cool kids will be there. Why not you?
PhotoshopWorld.com.
Wow, that was good.
There it is.
There it is. Boom.
Right there. East Coast, West Coast.
East Coast, West Coast.
You can go to either.
West Coast.
Yep.
Sorry,
great event.
Snoop Dogg. D-double-O-G.
So you posted that survey.
I did post that survey.
You've already got a lot of votes already.
Let's just real quickly. Right now, it's 66% say it's fair game, and 34% say yes, it's cheating. So it's 2-1 basically that say no, it's fair game. So I know it's interesting because because what it is there's a genre of photography you're telling the world that unless you're rich, you can't do it.
Yeah.
It's just a weird ethical weirdness, you know.
Again, though, I've thought about this issue, and it might be controversial, or it might be in the minority here. But when you get down to it, like as long as the rules of the contest you're abiding by them, it's the only time I could really see it would be a photojournalism contest. Like if you're doing a photojournalism contest and you're doing any modifications besides the basic develop module modifications, that's where that's not acceptable. You can't move stuff around in a photojournalistic, competition, that kind of stuff. You can't do that. But other than that, I think it's kind of fair game. And then it comes up to the rules of the contest. What are the rules of the contest? Is it that you can't do that stuff? And then if you're violating the contest rules, then yeah, absolutely. You shouldn't be qualified for that contest.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah.
All right. Two more controversies. Chris Wiley from Titusville. Am I right?
Yeah, from Titusville.
Titusville. Yeah. Shout out to Titusville. Chris Wiley says, I would like to see a legit raw file photo contest where you have to turn in the raw file. Woo!
That'd be fine.
Hey, that's interesting.
Boy, if
we
you saw
should
my
do
raw
that.
files, though, they'd be awful dark.
Yeah, well, you can't count rocket photography.
Yeah.
He's got an interesting
point.
No, it is
an interesting point. Especially
that would be cool. No one's done that. We should do it.
Well, would you?
Right? We should.
Now,
should
Chris,
do it.
would it be that you have to submit the raw file and the finished processed file?
No. How about the raw file with an XMP, with the XMP data?
Yeah. So the raw file.
Well, let's ask Chris. It's his idea, Chris.
Yeah. Chris.
So is it just the raw file out of the camera with no changes, or is it I can send the raw file with the XMP, which means it would have the edits that I did in Photoshop or Lightroom, like develop module, white balance and stuff like that. Straight from the camera, no.
I don't know. Because here's the thing: if you're shooting raw, you can't go straight. I mean, I don't know anybody who shoots raw that goes straight from the camera.
Yeah, because it basically
it's designed to be flat. It's designed to be processed.
Yeah, it's designed. It is
a
intentionally
raw piece of meat. You have to cook it.
It's intentionally. They even remove the sharpening that your camera would put on there. Like when you shoot raw, it takes out the sharpening. It takes out all the things that your camera would add to make the photo look good. You're telling it, turn off the sharpening, turn off the contrast, turn off the noise reduction, turn off all these things, and just give me what the sensor imaged.
Let me give you the raw
That's not
data.
good. And you know what? Let me tell you why, Chris, the way I like the idea.
I like where you're going with it.
You can send the XMP file. What that does keep you from doing is sky replacement, adding things that weren't there. If it's just the raw file with an XMP,
because you can't fool
right.
anybody.
But you know what? If you look at photographers through history, like when I used to shoot film, things were different. No, when I shot film, I found a lab and a good guy that processed my images. And I wouldn't go in there and mark them up like a lot of these guys did. I would just go in there and go, hey, Mark, I like those saturated. I like those saturated colors. Oh, Scott, I got you, Now, when I went to like the local lab, like back in my day, we had a thing called Eckerd's Drugs.
Yeah.
Do you remember Eckerd's?
Oh, yeah.
Now it's a CVS,
Great.
so CVS bought them all. But anyway, they had a good photo lab. But then I realized this isn't really a good photo lab. And once you go to a real photo lab, then you're like, oh, and you could talk to the guy that's going to.
Where you took your your disposable
your family,
camera.
your family photo stuff. But when I got serious about photography and started doing slides and stuff like that, I'm like,
because those guys knew how to process the photo.
Yeah, they process the photo. So, Chris,
I like the idea.
I like the idea. I think there's something there, Chris. All right. So another scandal that came out recently was when it was from a picture shooting up inside of a bunch of buildings, probably in Dubai, with the airplane flying over in the perfect little gap at the top. And later it was found out that the plane was added in post. Now everybody does that. Everybody's got that shot. I see it all the time. Just say tall buildings with plane and you'll find 100 of them. It's like, it's a very classic photo. With a plane flying through the gap, and it's like you'd have to wait all day long for that plane to come through.
So maybe what it is maybe it's more backing up of photo contests need better rules.
Yeah, but what's the line? See, Guy Jordan says raw plus processed.
Yeah.
But
that's where you get that, I know what's the line, but that's where it is. Is like, if your line in your photo contest is all things go, well, then you can put the plane in. If everything goes, then you can put the plane in.
Yeah, I don't know. These are, you know what it is? This is why I've never run for public office, because all of these answers, when you don't dig in, they all seem easy.
Yeah.
But when you start digging into to ethical things like this, it gets really tough. And when
you're not going to put the plane in. You're just not.
No.
I wouldn't either. I can't do it. I can't do it.
I know, but somebody else would, and they would beat me.
They would beat me.
I would go, here's my picture of the 4 buildings, and they would have the 4 buildings with the plane, and they go, oh yeah.
So that's where better. I go. Maybe we just need to redefine the contest rules.
I don't know. I don't like any of this. It's hard. This is hard stuff. Also, Steve McCurry, you guys know his famous shot of the Afghan girl. I'm going to turn you on to an article. Now, I've met Steve. Very, very nice guy. He's very well respected. A National Geographic photographer, but over the last few years, a number of people have gone after him and showed images that were altered and things. And there is an article on F-Stoppers, and it is about. Here's I'm going to read you what it says. The documentary photography of Steve McCurry has come under intense scrutiny in recent years. In this thought-provoking video, photographer Tony Northrup, who I know Tony, super nice guy. You met Tony out in Hawaii. Super great guy.
Absolutely.
He and his wife, they're just an awesome couple, and they do great stuff for the photographic community. In this thought-provoking video, photographer Tony Northrup explores the truth around how the image was created and the story of its subject that rarely gets told. And it says, McCurry's Afghan Girl is perhaps one of the National Geographic's most iconic magazine covers, but as Northrup reveals, it's not without controversy and all this different stuff. But there's people that have said he set the shot up, and there's people that said I was there when he did it, and on and on and on. It's gone through all kinds of stuff. But anyway, it's everyone's looking at everything now. All of these images, and that's what's happening. You're having people go, you can dig a little deeper and find out stuff.
Is everybody looking at it, or is photographers looking at it?
No, not the public. The public takes everything for how it is.
So that's where there's another side of that story of the photographers will tear it apart. The photographers will analyze it.
Right.
But the public, if it's a good shot, it's a good shot.
Yeah. All right. Hey, on that poll, I just want to mention that on the poll, we're almost 70-30 now, that it's fair game to photograph animals inside a zoo environment, and it is not cheating photographically. But you know what? Can I say this? I kind of think, I'm just looking at Tammy Maloney's comments. She says, I feel a lot of super moon shots are modified.
Most of them are.
Yeah.
I mean, I've noticed. Scientifically, the moon's just not that big. Even with compression of lenses,
you're
not going to get
compression,
it. You're not going to get that big. But again, most of them only push it to like the good ones. The good ones only push it like 10-15%.
Yeah. If it's 40%
the bad ones
larger,
go like 40%, and it's like obviously. I mean, there's no science that will work.
All right. Well, we're running out of time, so let's give away some stuff. Eric, what do you say we give away some fine products? First up is a fantastic product. It is the heavy-duty Platypod Max from our friends at Platypod. Without the ball head. That's my ball head. Christina, Pick us some lucky winner that we can send it to. We don't care where you are in the world because Eric is loose with money.
Absolutely.
Pat Morgan.
It's all the photo contest I win.
There you go. That's because he puts the plane in there.
I put the plane
All
in
right,
there.
Pat Morgan, congratulations. You just won a Platypod Max. Who's going to win a copy of the Landscape book, which will be out in Kindle any day now and in bookstores in about 30 days, maybe less. It's called The Landscape Photography Book. Goes to Linda who?
Belinda
Krause. Well, I think we owe her one after I threw her under the bus on the whole zoo thing, so I think we did well. How about this book, Photoshop for Lightroom Users, from the coolest guy. I don't know what to say about me. It's from me. I was trying to come up with something clever, and it just exploded in my face there. It's like a grenade. It's like what happens when you drop a Sony. What? It explodes.
And Lens Pro to go.
Gift card, Lens Pro to go.
You can rent a camera to go steal some shots.
Yep, you can rent a... No, not everybody steals shots, Eric, with your fake Milky Way. All right, who wins the Lens Pro to go card?
All right, Tim Hunts.
Tim Hunts, you got it.
You got it.
So, hey, we have completely run out of time, but I would just like to say the final numbers on our, for what we have today, the poll will be up, for 24 hours. And it is 67% say no, it's fair game. 33% say yes, it's cheating. And I have something for you to do that you will find incredibly, well, I don't know what just happened. I clicked the wrong button. Wow, I just went off into zombie land here. Hold on.
I think you clicked on an ad.
Go right now while you're there. Go to my Twitter page. Click on my profile picture. That's me over there. And at the top is a video about my Paris workshop. And watch, at the very beginning of this video, look. It's me in a beret, and it's so realistic. Right?
That's not photoshopped at all.
No. I always wear a beret when I'm in France. It's the first thing I do.
Better not enter that picture in a photo contest.
It is a photo contest. Anyway, so I explained it all, what we're going to do. Go to my Twitter page. It's right at the top.
Were those birds in that shot?
No, those birds were graphic. Those hearts weren't on that postcard either, Eric. Come on.
Was the Eiffel Tower really there?
The Eiffel Tower was really there. And there were not people there. No, there was no one there. And that's shot from a rooftop.
Was that the sky that happened?
Those are all the skies.
Did
That's
you
the
eat that
food.
food?
Yes, I did. You were there with me when I ate that food. You were there when we ate that food.
Yeah, it was good food.
I was standing right there, and so will you be. Inception Bridge, right there. Boom. That's France right there. That's where French fries come from. And French's mustard right there.
Yep.
Come with me to Paris this summer. That's
Is
Mimo.
Mimo real?
Mimo is super real, dude. He's as real as you get. You know what he's pointing to? I'm jumping in that water right there. That's from the top of the
Ooh, that's a good crepe place to the right there.
Great crepes right there. We waited in line for them, didn't we?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was way late
That was
at night.
Egypt, that last shot with the pyramid. Of course. That's food. We're going to be eating some of that. I could have done a voiceover. We watched the whole, that's the Opera House, Paris Opera House. That's, I have a better location for shooting than where that was taken now. I have a better location. That's the inside of the Paris Opera House, and that's fake birds.
Fake birds.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to Christina, who was moderate in her moderation.
Absolutely.
Picked some fantastic winners for our show. Next week, do we have a guest next week?
Next week. Well, the week after that.
Let's see if we have a guest.
Next
we have
week
some
of
cool
next
guests
week.
coming in.
So we got next week of next week.
Oh, we have no
No
scheduled guests. It'll be
guests.
just me and boring. No, not boring Eric. It'll be me and Eric with a boring topic. Not boring Eric. That was
photo contest.
Yep.
Why we love them.
And why Eric has cheated to win them. Anyway, thanks everybody, and thanks for those of you, and you know who you are, who did us an extra favor out there. You guys are awesome. Thanks to all of our friends in the UK. We feel closer to you now that we're only 4 hours apart. Oh, I'm coming over there, and all of you, I'm going to have like a party, and I'm going to invite all my friends of the grid. So Ben and Brigitte, I'm coming over. You better be ready. And I'm going to gather all my UK buddies. We're going to have a big party in London. Big party in London. So you're going to have to come to London, yeah. London's a cool town. Lots of cool people there. You know who'll be there? Me. The cool guy.
They're trying to get.
I mentioned it
you
earlier.
to go out, but
I don't know.
don't look at the jib though.
I'm not looking at the jib. Look, I'm looking straight ahead.
Yeah.
If you look at it, it's bad luck for 7 years.
And
And we're out.